Hi, this is Mike Maduda and you're listening to the ZiFM Sport Podcast.
The hottest station in the nation. ZiFM Stereo.
It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
Last night we relived the weekend. This evening we kick the rest of it off. It's Top Hit Tuesday. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the music that we dish out on this show, because it's more than a sports show. It's entertainment at its best on Zimbabwe's finest radio station. ZiFM Stereo, my station, your station. This is ZiFM Sport. Good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to it. My name is Mike Maduda. Today, joined by Alois Bunjira, twin strike force to lead the line for the next 55 minutes as we put you on the pulse of everything you need to know in the world of sport, local as well as international. ZIFA has announced a substantial increase in the gate charges for the decisive AFCON qualifier between Zimbabwe and Congo-Brazzaville, with fans expected to dig deep into their pockets to see the Warriors in action. It's a story that we touched upon yesterday at the back end of our show. Today, we dig deeper. Now, in our international sports news segment, we'll preview this year's Six Nations Rugby Tournament, which could go down to the very wire, with Ireland, England and Wales all in with a shout. And in the beautiful game, we kick off in the Premier League, where Pep Guardiola acknowledges Manchester City have little room for error tonight when they face the Magpies of Rafa Benitez, Newcastle United.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
There are two ways you can get in on the action on ZiFM Sport, but both of them using the same platform. That is WhatsApp. The number there is 0731 168 045. 0731 168 045. The first one, if you want to be in on the action, maybe you can be the one lucky listener that we get to call back if you send in the hashtag ProFeedsTrivia. You could give yourself a chance of winning that 290-litre Capri fridge, double door fridge. I'll tell you that would be a great way to start the year. Our first draw of the year is on Friday, the 22nd of February. And then the second way is by letting us know your thoughts, your views, your analysis, your take on what's happening in the world of sport, and more importantly, specifically, what's happening on the show today. Do send us your messages on that WhatsApp number 0731 168 045. We're also on Twitter and Facebook at ZiFM Sport. Now, let's get the show on the road with news out of ZIFA, who have announced a substantial increase in the gate charges for the decisive Africa Cup of Nations qualifier between Zimbabwe and Congo-Brazzaville, with fans expected to dig deep into their pockets for as much as $200 for the VIP ticket. The VIP ticket rose fourfold from the previous price of $50 when Zimbabwe hosted DRC in their last home match 3 months ago. Entrance fees to base 15 to 18 also rose from $10 to $50, while the cheapest ticket for the rest of the ground will be selling at $10. ZIFA spokesperson Kholisani Gwesela said tickets will go on sale on Friday, and to avoid the chaos that usually obtains at the gates, no ticket sales will be done at the venue on match day. Alois, we touched on this yesterday. We got the team to give their initial thoughts on those hikes. And I guess the first point would be to take a look at the charges, the amounts that ZIFA has proposed. $10 for rest of the ground, $50 for base, 15 to 18, which is on the wings of the VIP enclosure. The VIP enclosure itself, $200. Justifiable?
I don't know if I should say justifiable. I think it's exorbitant. You know, I think they looked at it from the other side of the border. You know, the
business side of things.
They looked at it from the business side, but they looked also at it from the exchange rate between the bond and the US dollar. But they didn't put into consideration that their earning power hasn't increased. Although the bond has been going down, the earning power hasn't increased. Nobody has gotten salary increments anyway, because the majority, they go to work. You know, so where would they suddenly find it comfortable to pay $10 when they've been crying about $5 because nothing has happened in their pockets, nothing has increased? So it's going to be a problem. But from the business side, it makes sense. When you look at the rates and the spiraling rate of the pound and all that, it actually makes sense.
One of the things that I read in one of today's dailies was that one of the justifications put forward by ZIFA is that they have a certain budget that they need to meet, and I think the match day budget is exceeding $200,000. But is it a question of the entry charges being the ones that must cater for your budget, that must cater for the money that you need to prepare for this particular encounter, or should the gate charges just be a contributor amongst other revenue streams?
Of course, Mike, that's the biggest challenge that we have in Zimbabwean football, because administrators, they think that money is only generated from the gates, whereas much more money is supposed to be generated from other avenues. Like you have said, there is a lot of other things, marketing, there's catering and all those kind of things. They bring much more money than actually the gate takings if well organized. You know, you can actually get more money from catering than the gates, because a person that goes through the gate with for $10, if he's going to be buying food that is worth $25, maybe it comes with his family and all that, they might actually spend $50 more on food and entertainment inside the stadium. That's actually more money than the gate. But here in Zimbabwe, we actually think that a person must just arrive at 3 o'clock, watch his game, pay $10 and go home. So we need to move to the business section of football. Like we said, they looked at it from the business side, but they are not doing business like themselves.
Exactly.
They just stood there and say it's business, but they're not really doing business.
Let me give an example, Alois, you mentioned that they're not being business-like, because one of the things that is listed under that $200,000, the US $200,000 that they need to come up with for this particular fixture, one of the line items there is air tickets for all the players who are coming in from abroad. So your Tendai Darikwas, your Kamabiliets, Willard Katsande, those who are chosen to play for the Warriors, to be in the Warriors colours that week. But surely this is something that should be catered for by funds that are already existent, not for you to be looking to get that money via the gate charges.
Yeah, you see, Mike, that's my biggest concern is that FIFA gives ZIFA money for all those kind of things,
and for hosting these matches,
and for hosting the matches, and for every match they actually they actually budget for that money. When these monies come, they are solely for the national team plays maybe 3, 4, 5 matches a year. You know, really. And this is the money, this is where the money is supposed to be going. We already know that so and so is going to be coming from where so and so is going to be coming from. This is where the money is supposed to be coming from the money that is already in the kitty that came from FIFA. And then also the marketing department. What exactly is the marketing department doing?
Yes,
they need to form partnerships with airlines. Lufthansa or whatever airline comes from Germany, hook up with them. You know what? We are giving you this. We give us air ticket, and we can give you such mileage when we play in this match. You know, make these butter trade things. South Africa, there's SAA for crying out loud.
And coming up with
SAA
those
with all these
smart partnerships is what you're talking about, Alois. And also you're taking a look at a situation where we have already again read about the $9 million that's coming from FIFA. Apparently this money has already been transferred to ZIFA, and we hear, of course, that the ZIFA coffers are housed in South Africa. So the money that ZIFA was supposed to receive as a grant from FIFA, because it was a World Cup year last year, that money has come in. And so you're asking yourself, okay, apart from that money, that is supposed to come in from FIFA, which is a prodigious amount, $9 million. And then you're also talking about the year in, year on funding that they have been receiving from FIFA. And then you're also talking about money that was raised the last time when they played DRC, all those things. And you're asking yourself, surely, why should ZIFA be getting the fans to foot the bill for this particular qualifier? It's unfair on the fans who, as you point out, Alois, that their spending power has not increased. Their earnings have not increased. You guys are making a business decision that, okay, let's charge X amount so that then we can recoup our money as far as value is concerned when you compare it to the rate of the RTGS or bond compared to the US dollar. So it's a very difficult position that they're putting the fans in. And of course, the fans are weighing in, Alois, a lot of messages that are coming in via WhatsApp. And I'll remind you of that number, 0731 168 045. That's 0731 168 045. And this message here is coming in from Silas. Good evening to you, Silas. We hope you're enjoying the show.
Where have you been, Silas?
Yeah, all right. A mate of yours?
Yeah, no, he has been a
regular contributor.
Regular contributor.
Lovely, Cyrus. Well, he says, he wanted to talk about VAR initially, but I think he wants to talk about the gate charges here, and I'm just scrolling down to make sure that I get his message. But unfortunately, he's telling me to restart the machine. I don't have time for that. Silas, I'm going to get back to your message, but I'm just going to hop over to some of the messages that are coming in. And this one is from Marlene Gazirai. Good evening. You say, I think the charges are fair. VIP must be treated as such, and there are two other options available. If VIP charge is too high, there should be breathing space in that VIP enclosure. It sounds slightly insensitive if you ask me, because, okay, let's talk about the point you say is that VIP must be treated as such. That's great. But does our VIP enclosure, Alois, offer the amenities, and is it up to the standard of what a VIP section is? Because if we talk US dollar, we are talking anything between $50 and $60 right now, according to their charge. Is it worth that much, the blue bucket seat? And probably toilets that don't flush?
See, mine. When we talk VIP, we are not talking about the bucket seat. We are talking about treatment.
Yes.
The VIP treatment. That
the experience.
The experience. The VIP experience you're going to get when you are inside there. What has been planned for those guys? Because when it's VIP, when it's exorbitant like that, it's supposed to come with a drink. It's supposed to come with some eats, finger food, and it's supposed to come with VIP treatment, whereby
even when it doesn't come with those things, you should have access to those things, even if it means you're going to pay for them.
Even paying for them,
but they should be there. You should be able to say at halftime, I'm going to have some lunch. I'm going to grab some drinks. I'm going to do that.
I'm gonna,
absolutely. But we don't see those things in the national sports stadium.
VIP, hot dog, meat pie, snacks. You are supposed to actually have, because it's the VIP section. My biggest problem with that VIP section is that
you're selling a bucket seat.
Three quarters of the people that are going to be in there are going to be going in for free, because they're going to be coming with their faces. I'm sorry and so in. I am sorry and so in. They are not even strict about it. Maybe before the match starts, they are actually standing passengers in the VIP. There are people with no seats.
I totally agree with you, because
sitting in there who haven't paid, and I've paid my $200.
Yes, and also because we don't have we don't have a dedicated media tribunal. It means that our media so often is housed in the VIP enclosure. And you're so right when you say that probably 50%, 60%, 70% of the people you find in the VIP enclosure on match day are actually people who are not bringing any value whatsoever to ZIFA. Going back to WhatsApp, back to Silas, you say Bunj is absolutely right. The problem is that when they have a game, they're only interested in selling a ticket and not a whole experience, similar to the States where baseball game is associated with an overpriced hot dog and a beverage, or marketed as a family event. We have to do better. That's one of the things that you've just touched on just now. Matthew Chigaduro Murombo, you say, considering current situation, it's justified. What ZIFA now needs to do is market this game. Good thing it gives fans time to plan for and save money for the ticket. I feel $5 would have attracted a full house though. So he's just talking about, I think, the rest of the ground entrance. But we also have to take take a look at
the $50 entrance,
at the $50 entrance and the $200 entrance as well. So lots of messages that keep on coming in as well, and we might as well plow through them. Herbert Chiwara, good evening, Herbert. You say the prices are very reasonable considering that ZIFA has no concrete sponsors, so they are maximizing on gate takings so as to pay for air tickets for foreign-based players, and the players also need forex in method of payment because the bond only works in Zim, and also they need to pay for allowances and hotel expenses for the Congo team and the Warriors, and also pay for service providers. The prices in Zim at the moment are very high. Again, we ask, where is the money from FIFA?
We do agree there are expenses. Yes. We do agree there are expenses to be paid.
Where's the funding? Where's the funding from FIFA?
What is the funding for? That's where the funding comes in. And the funding, Mike, if you see the list, what FIFA requires for the that money, the
line items to say this is for that, this is for that, this takes care of that.
To use that, this is supposed to take care of that, and there is money that is actually for these games, preparation of the matches. There is money for that. So I don't know what we're talking about. This is supposed to be actually going to players' bonuses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Players' refreshments and bonuses get taken, not for preparation of the match.
Nobombolai says that's a bad move as they are likely to play in an empty stadium because most fans won't be able to afford that. And then, listen, I want to touch on that, the possibility of us not playing in front of a full house as a result of these gate charges. Is that a possibility for you if you throw in the fact that this match is likely to be televised by SuperSport?
Yeah, it brings that aspect as well, that people will be like, okay, this match is on TV, this is $10. Remember, this $10 is only to get in. There are other expenses
transport
to
expenses,
the match. There is a transport, there's refreshments, you want to eat and all that. There is, unless if the diehard fans, if it's advertised and it's hyped
on shows like this one as well.
Yes, exactly. They need to come through and talk and say, sometimes I always wonder why they never go to the radio stations to market their games. It's also content for us as well. We talk about the matches, so they need to market the match. They need to have other entertainment inside the stadium before the match so that you can attract the other fans that might just come and have fun.
And now the next message is from someone. The profile picture is that of Ms. Red, but it could just be a fan. Anza hamuna hospitality of Zimbabwe boys zangu ukatowana nzungu uri lucky.
Waona manje. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
VIP ka. Ndo hospitality ya VIP. Yaona just right. Munorova nyoro ere boys zangu. Wachitengesa nzungu. And then Taurai Moyo, good evening. You say $10 may sound reasonable considering the environment, but for the ordinary citizen who survives on $1, it's on a higher side. $5 to $7, rest of the ground would have been reasonable. $50 and $200 are just abnormal fees. Marsh Mutoa, well, with the current situation in the country where prices have escalated, I think $10 for rest of the ground is a fair price, but the chances of having a full house are very slim. It's good charging people at least $5 and have a full house, as it is an important fixture for our boys. And we got more messages coming in. I think I'll just read one more from our WhatsApp messages here that have come in, and this one I think is from Nolan Mapuranga. Good evening to you, Nolan Mapuranga. And Nolan says that he thinks that the move will backfire on ZIFA. So there are fans that are thinking that, okay, this move here is going to backfire on ZIFA, and that they must be thinking about maximizing the National Sports Stadium so that it's carrying a full capacity crowd for what is a very important fixture for the Warriors. This is ZiFM Sport on a Tuesday. Nothing but the top stories. It's Alois and Mike right here on your favorite sports show.
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
Right, let's just give you a local sports news roundup. Cricket news: Zimbabwe international cricketer Luke Jongwe is set to rejuvenate his waning fortunes in England after signing a contract with Reed Cricket Club for the upcoming season. The 23-year-old last played international cricket 3 years ago, having made his debut in the Chevron side as a mere teenager. He played 30 international matches, which included 22 one-day internationals and 8 T20 internationals. However, his international career has stalled in recent years. He played his last international international in Bangladesh back in January of 2016. Over to basketball news. Highlanders A produced a solid performance to inflict a 57-36 defeat on Giants in the Bulawayo Basketball League at Kanyisile Sports Centre on Saturday. It was a polished performance by Highlanders A as they stunned the defending champions into their first loss of the season. Bulawayo Basketball League Promotions and Marketing Officer Francis Due said Highlanders did not only draw large support in football, as their basketball outfit also has a vociferous following. And rugby news. The Zimbabwe Rugby Union has moved the annual Kwese Sports Rugby Sevens tournament from Victoria Falls to Harare, citing logistical challenges. The third edition of the tournament was supposed to be held in March as part of initial plans to stage the tournament in Victoria Falls for 5 years to develop the game in the resort town and attract international events and promote tourism. A rugby stadium had also been earmarked for Victoria Falls to leave a rugby legacy and plant a permanent seed for the game. The dream seems to have gone up in smoke after the Zimbabwe Rugby Union decided to move the tourney and rename it the Harare International Sevens.
Are you facing financial challenges? Are you struggling to meet basic human needs? Do you have capital but don't know how to start a business? Do you have a business that isn't growing? All these problems are caused by poverty mindset and lack of financial intelligence. Whichever challenge you are facing right now, there's a one-stop shop for financial success. Introducing the Empowerment School of Wealth. 10 years of turning ordinary people into an extraordinary success. Established in 2009 by Dr. Nick Ohizu, this school will teach you how to start your business, how to correct your financial mistakes, how to raise capital, how to come out of debt, how to become a financial success, and so much more. Only 4 months of study to change your life forever. Join the champions of 2019 and give yourself a financial head start. School starts 9th of February. Classes run Fridays 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. For registration, call 0735 532 194. Register now.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Keep your hashtags coming in. Profeeds Trivia. You could be the one lucky listener that we get to call back, and straight after our play of the day, we could call you and give you a chance to get into the draw for that 290-litre double-door Capri fridge. The draw is on Friday, the 22nd of February. We have a Six Nations review for you. I'm going to skim very quickly through that, and then we'll take you around the world in 60. Former Ireland centre Gordon Darcy says the Six Nations will boil down to a final weekend title decider between Ireland and Wales. The former Leinster star insists he's not convinced by England's autumn resurgence, branding Warren Gatland's Wales the main challengers to Ireland's 2018 crown. Ireland will kickstart a hectic 2019 by hosting England in Dublin on Saturday, with Darcy confident in the host chances. Ireland defence coach John Mitchell say the defending champions will look to play a patient possession game and bore England in their opening Six Nations match. Let's hear from Ireland coach Joe Schmidt, who discussed Ireland's chances in this year's tournament.
We've got the Six Nations and a World Cup to get through, and you could easily, things turn very quickly in coaching because the margins are so fine, and the variables that you manage to control, while you try to do a good job of the ones you do control, there are so many you don't control. Injury, if we project forward to the end of this year, 2015 is still a relatively raw scar for me, and there are things that I think I learned, and I know I had to control better, and there are things that were completely beyond my control. You can try to build the best insurance that's possible, and that is probably a depth, and people say, are you going to wait, are you going to kind of build through the Six Nations to the World Cup? It is nothing like that. The Six Nations, the World Cup started straight after the last World Cup.
ZiFM.
Joe Schmidt, the coach of the Irish side there, talking of his team's chances and the preparations for this year's Six Nations Tournament. Ireland, of course, had a barnstorming season last year. They achieved the Six Nations Grand Slam, as well as beating world champions, the All Blacks, in November. And they are firming up in many people's minds, many pundits' minds, as favourites for the Rugby World Cup in Japan later this year. They've got a fantastic game, which they built around speed and, of course, superb tackling, as well as a kicking game that's on point, and they love to control possession of the ball, and they'll be looked at in the Six Nations because a lot of people want to see them put in convincing performances in the Six Nations against their Northern Hemisphere neighbours to see if they can actually wear that coat of favourites heading into the World Cup. They will be challenged, of course, in the Six Nations, I believe, by England. I know Gordon Darcy's talking up Wales, but I believe that England have got a good side and a side that can also grow into the tournament. Now, they've already ploughed into the mind games ahead of Saturday's tournament opener, with boss Eddie Jones claiming fly half Johnny Sexton has the bat phone to the referees, basically saying that he talks a bit too much and tries to get under the skin of the referee and gets him to blow or to make the calls in Ireland's favour. Now, we'll hear from England's captain Owen Farrell, who says the return of some of England's game breakers has him excited for this year's Six Nations opener.
Selection's up to the boss, but you know, Manu's been playing really well recently, and I'm sure he's massively excited to get going back in an England shirt. So all I can say is that I'm pretty excited for him. It'd be good to see him run out there. There's a few people getting back together in terms of injuries coming back, and a few game breakers probably coming back into our team, and obviously some new fresh faces as well. So it makes it exciting for us to get together this week and to really prepare well for the first game.
England fly half Owen Farrell, who's also the skipper, speaking to the media there, excited about the big name players that are returning for the Roses. Now, England, you know, when Ed Jones was appointed their coach, they were absolutely fantastic. They had a really good 24 months when he initially took over, but last year things seemed to unravel a bit, and they were defeats to Scotland, France and Ireland, and especially Scotland and France. Those were teams that they were expected to beat, and they actually finished in 5th position in last year's Six Nations Tournament, just above Italy. There were a few positive signs. I think they were edged out by New Zealand, a very tight encounter, and then they defeated South Africa as well as Australia. But ultimately, a lot of people felt that England underachieved last year, and they'll be looking to get things right. Now, let's take a look at the fixtures. Round 1 this weekend. Of course, that barnstormer gets things underway. Ireland versus England. The other matches you can look forward to are France versus Wales, as well as Scotland taking on Italy.
This is ZiFM Stereo.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We start in the UK, where Andy Murray has confirmed he has undergone hip resurfacing surgery. Murray was unsure whether to undergo the procedure, which involves putting a metal plate in place, and admitted there were no guarantees that he would be able to make a successful comeback, but wanted to ensure a better quality of life. The 3-time Grand Slam champion revealed in an emotional news conference ahead of the Australian Open his intention to retire after this year's Wimbledon, but admitted the event in Melbourne could be the final tournament of his career. Over to New Zealand. Injured All Blacks flanker Sam Cane will miss more than half the Super Rugby season as he continues a long recovery from a broken neck. Cane was again named co-captain of the Waikato Chiefs in partnership with Brodie Retallick, but the club said in a statement he was unlikely to take to the field until late April. The open side flanker broke his neck in a collision with South African Francois Lowe during the All Blacks' 32-30 win over South Africa in Pretoria last October. Touching down in Holland, where former Formula One driver Jenson Button believes Formula One is poised for a 3-team fight at the front in 2019, and that Max Verstappen needs to be among the title challengers amid growing anticipation for the new season, with preparations ramping up when winter testing begins in mid-February. Former world champion Button reckons there is so much to be looking forward to in the sport.
Play of the day. Top Hit Tuesday.
We continue to honor one of Zimbabwe's finest sons, lost last week. And of course, you can hear his dulcet tones there in partnership with Lady Smith Black Mambazo. This is Oliver Tukumutukuzi, featuring that crack South African outfit from KwaZulu-Natal. Hello, my baby.
Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice.
Ah, sorry,
yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, far I'm going. Come along. You.
Don't you meditate?
Won't you meditate? I send a messenger to tell you that I want to meet you at the station. Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Come along to kiss me. Yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice. Yeah, far I'm going. Don't you kiss me, nice.
Oh, mumwe wangu.
Yeah, far I'm going. Come along.
Hello, my baby.
Hello, my babe.
Hello, my hello, my sweet. Hello, my Taragadenga ya pata moyo wa my sweet Zimbe ya kamenywa kale. I love you. Hello, my baby. Hello, my sweet. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. Hello, my chocolate. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. Taragadenga ya pata moyo wa my sweet Zimbe ya kamenywa kale. Hello, my baby. Hello, my chocolate. Hello, my baby. Hello, my sugar face. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. Sweet chocolate. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. I love my sweet Zimbe ya kamenywa kale. I love you. Oh, baby. Hello, my baby. Oh, baby. Hello, my baby. Oh, baby. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. Baby. I love you. Baby. Baby. Oh, baby. My love. Oh, baby. My love. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. So do I do love you, baby. So do I do love you too. So do I do love you, baby. I do love you too. I do love you, baby. Oh, baby.
Rangaril Darakan, Oliver Tukumutukudzi teaming up with Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, and Hello, my baby. Alois. He was versatile.
What I liked about him, look at Black Mambazo. He was just doing it in Siana with different guys, that. You know what? He is a legend.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend, and of course he was a versatile star, a son of the soil. Oliver Tukumutukudzi. Talking about versatility, we are versatile. We keep you on the cusp of everything you need to know in the world of sport, and we'll keep you entertained while we're at it. ZiFM Sport coming up. Pro Feeds Daily Sports Trivia.
The Daily Sports Trivia question is brought to you by Pro Feeds. Pro Feeds, your feed and farm professionals.
Well, if you've been listening, you know what to do. Simply send us a WhatsApp message with the hashtag ProFeedsTrivia, and you could be the one lucky listener we're about to call back. You'll field 2 questions. If you get both correct, you'll be our daily winner, and in with a chance of winning our fabulous first prize of 2019, a Capri Double Door 290-litre fridge. The first draw of the year will be on Friday, the 22nd of February, and it's a good evening to our lucky listener, Organizer Chemuru. Love that name. Organizer, how are you, buddy?
I'm fine, bro. How is it?
I am excellent, Organizer. You're a very organized fella. You got in very early, and here you are on the show.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Absolutely. Well, you are in Melbourne. Because unotaura nevanhu vemuharare ka wekubhorodo vanenge achiti hakuna kana mvura wonzi wekumelbourne achiti mvura yanaya nhasi mudhara.
It was komborwa drizzling, but not zvemvura zvimwe pakatoipa.
Kwangoti tsatsa mbichana.
Kwangoti tsatsa imeya.
One time. Well, ngatipinde mumvunzo yedu. Are you ready? First question local, the second one international.
Fire away, bro.
Okay, question 1. If you were sitting in the Vietnam stand, in which stadium would you be? Rufaro Stadium. Okay. What enthusiasm. One time.
Looks like he knows what he's talking about.
Let's go into question 2. Question 2 is, what does the acronym MLS stand for? What does the acronym MLS stand for?
Major League Soccer for America.
Organizer, like your name, absolutely organized. I think you've been our most confident caller that we've had so far. Well, you are in the draw on Friday, the 22nd of February, courtesy of ProFeeds. Congratulations.
One time, Baba.
The Daily Sports Trivia question was brought to you by ProFeeds. ProFeeds, the performance feed. Fan Zone. Get in touch with the team and have your say your way.
Operator.
ZiFM Sport is the show that's for the fans, and why do we say that? We allow you to have your say, your way on WhatsApp 0731-168-045. That's 0731-168-045. Twitter and Facebook, follow and interact with @ZiFM Sport. We are discussing the gate charges that have been proposed by ZIFA for the Warriors' final AFCON qualifier versus Congo-Brazzaville in the month of March at the National Sports Stadium, or the giant National Sports Stadium, as Mukoma Admire Taderera used to call it as he was commentating on the games. Now, we've got a message that's come in here from Simba Zenga in Bulawayo. Simba, you say it's a home game, guys. No need to charge that amount. It's too much. Our wages are still where they were last year. We cannot afford. We will not go to support our beloved Warriors. And that is the fear that we touched upon.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Yeah. That the wages have not gone up. They are looking at the rate of the US dollar to the bond, which is actually not official anyway, and they just skyrocketed the amount from like $3 to $10. You know, the fans, we need to look at the football fan in Zimbabwe. Who is this person that comes to watch Zimbabwean football? You know, we haven't marketed our football well enough to attract the elite of this country. Let's be honest. The elite will be at Borodale Racecourse. The elite will be having drinks at Bon Marché outside garden, Kwamereki and all that. Yeah. But anyway, we'll see how it. Since it's like 2 months to go, maybe they can hustle and paying somewhere for that match. I don't know.
Okay, Chris Gray has chimed in. You know Chris Gray?
I know. Yeah. Chris Gray.
Good evening, Chris. She says ZIFA is using this money as a money-making event instead of using it to 1, gain the trust of the populace, and 2, get a packed stadium and create an intimidating atmosphere. And those are two important things. The first point she talks about, gaining the trust of the populace, is important, especially after the debacle of the DRC game, where people had to be scaling fences, jumping over walls, and so forth. They needed
to sort that out.
And then the second point, get a packed stadium. What do we need? What is the ultimate objective of this final qualifier? It's not about money. It's about qualification, because the qualification brings with it more money.
Much more money, much more money, because there's monies that are given to the teams that qualify. If we aim for these 600,000 from calculations, if 60,000 at $10, 600,000 plus. If we are aiming for that money, that is nothing compared to the money that we gain from qualifying. And then when you look at the whole scenario, we might not even get that kind of money if we are charging such amounts. And like Chris said, we know what? We are actually underestimating this match. This match is so delicate. Yeah. We might just lose this match.
Against a side that's well capable of coming here and causing us headaches. Sunny Spoon on Twitter, you say if they are looking for money from gate charges only, then it means they are incompetent. Football is big business that makes money on its own. Fire the marketing department. In fact, fire them all. Marshall on Twitter says ZIFA looking to make a killing from the game since Zim is as good as through, but $10 might be a bit too much if the plan is to fill the stadium, as most people are still adjusting to the general price hikes around the country. Simbarashe Hamude anongofunza muvunzo mwe chete hansiko mosha yedu ndeyeyi.
You know, as good as qualified. No. We are not as good as qualified. That team is very dangerous. It can. They are very capable of beating us at home. And I want to respond also to the guy who talked about the marketing department and all that. Yeah. Do we even have the marketing department at ZIFA?
I think there's a marketing committee.
There's a marketing committee, not a marketing department. You know, when you have an office with one person in the whole department, or if you've got 3 people that are working on a daily basis in an office which has got all those departments, and you only have 3-4 people that are going to work every day, then you know that we are in trouble. That place is supposed to be having a lot of guys, marketing, finance, media, all those kind of departments are supposed to be manned by people, but we only have about 4 or 5 people in the office. And that's ZIFA, Zimbabwe Football Association. The whole lot, we only have 5 people going to do work every day.
Simba Muzi, good evening. You say thinking is being sold to those organizing it. They are seeing money instead of fans. Kevin Chapotera says, looking at the US dollar bond rate, it's justifiable as long as it's 10 bond and 4 or 3 US dollars. But kanaya $10, then pano potoda anzi paninga potoda vamoguti vatarise. And then you've got Lucky Boyce on Twitter. He says CAF Champions League games, we are paying $5, rest of the ground $10, upper stands $20 VIP. In this SME economic crisis, I feel it's exorbitant. We need fans more than money for this home game. Okay, so
you see, Mike, people are looking at it. We are not using US dollars, so they're saying it's justified because they are believing that someone have got a US dollar and then you can change it on the playing market and then you get $10, then you get in. It's not. They don't have the US dollars, so it's not that justifiable when you look at it because we are not earning US dollars.
Paul Munyuki says had to strike a balance between price and volume, at the same time taking advantage of the game's significance. However, lost the plot by not selling tickets at match venue. Which team doesn't need a capacity crowd at home? And then Makalaki says Mudara Oyumunyoan Anorwara. Just some of your sentiments. We can continue this conversation on social media. You can follow Alois, myself, the show, Barry Menandi, Chris Gray, Shwanta Filinika, Mark Pozzo. We are all on Twitter, and we'll be able to continue some of these conversations even after the show is over. And the show must go on. It's time to kick off the beautiful game.
To all you Twitter heads, connect with ZiFM Stereo on twitter.com/ZiFM Stereo /ZiFM Stereo.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport. All the rivalry.
The captain likes the touch paper. It is blue touch paper. Always him on Derby Day.
All the stars.
Absolutely brilliant again from Mo Salah.
The game-changing moments. All the updates from the Premier League on ZiFM Sport.
This is the league we want to watch.
Defending champions Chelsea will host Manchester United in the 5th round of the FA Cup, while 4th division side Newport County could meet Manchester City. United defeated Arsenal in the 4th round last week to record an 8th straight victory under caretaker boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but face another tough tie after last night's draw paired them with Maurizio Sarri's Chelsea. Only 7 top-flight sides remain in contention. Just taking a look at the full 5th round draw, Bristol City will play either Shrewsbury or Wolves. AFC Wimbledon will take on Millwall. Doncaster Rovers versus Crystal Palace. Middlesbrough or Newport County will take on Manchester City. Chelsea versus Manchester United. Swansea City versus Barnet or Brentford. Portsmouth or QPR will take on Watford, and Brighton or West Bromwich Albion will take on Frank Lampard's Derby County. Exciting draw, isn't it? I mean, at least there's a big match to look forward to in the next round of the FA Cup. And usually, if your domestic cup competitions, that's where the enthusiasm and the fan interest comes from, when you can have big match after big match every weekend that the cup competition is played.
Yeah, it also brings out that excitement when the smaller teams actually get a chance to play against the bigger teams. Some of these smaller towns, they don't really have big matches of that magnitude, and they're excited. But then, like we have seen, Chelsea versus Manchester United, big match well before the final, and it's mouth-watering. I wouldn't have loved Manchester United to beat Chelsea, but to win the cup, you need to go through this.
You've got to beat the best.
These big teams out.
And now we've got the prospect of perhaps, depending on how the draw goes, we could have a Manchester derby in the final, because you take a look at the rest of the teams, and if you take a look at Chelsea versus Manchester United, you say the team that wins there, unless they get Man City in the next round, but if they're able to be separated from Man City, we could have a big final, and probably the biggest final that people could want is a Manchester derby, because I believe that will do wonders for the FA Cup as a competition.
Yeah, the competition has been going down. Honestly speaking, a lot of clubs haven't been taking it seriously. They would use their second string players to play in that, and then we have seen over the years a small team against big team in the final. Sometimes people lose interest. They just go and do something else. But if it's the Manchester derby, I promise you, the world will be at a standstill. They want to watch this match. This is one match that they are obviously everybody we are hoping for. If I was, my story about these kind of things. If I had anything to do with it, I would fix them.
Hot balls, cold balls.
I would fix it.
But that draw, of course, confirming a run of very difficult fixtures for Manchester United and their new manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Let's take a look at those fixtures. On the 12th of February, Manchester United versus PSG, followed by Chelsea versus Manchester United, and then Man United hosts Liverpool at Old Trafford. After that is Crystal Palace away in London, and then they host Southampton. After that is PSG, Arsenal, and then the derby versus Manchester City. And despite the list of difficult fixtures, United's caretaker manager is demanding his team challenge on all fronts and win silverware, as well as securing Champions League football next season. Let's hear from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
For Man United, you should always aim to win the league. So we can't do that this year, but we just got to look forward to that again, because we have to get back to that. We got Champions League, we got the FA Cup. We can't just say top 4 and that's it. We've got to look at, can we win something this year? And as I've said, I think I go into every single game as a Man United manager thinking we can win this game.
And you've got to say that's probably been key about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's turnaround of Manchester United. His positivity, his willingness to go and play football, and to just be positive on the field of play, and it's been reflected by the players.
Yeah, you can see even the way the players are now playing, you can tell that now they are more free. They are now exhibiting this talent that we have always known. And the best thing that he ever did for me was to play Rashford in the center. Straight in the center, we have been calling for it, and he just come in.
Give him a run of games.
Give him a run of games. And look what he's bringing now. Because he was in and out, outside, inside, Garba Benji, Odzoka, but now consistency now is coming in, and he's doing so well, and the positive attitude that let's win all the games.
Okay, let's take a look at tonight's English Premier League matches, because there's a full bill of fixtures tonight and tomorrow evening. Tonight, Arsenal versus Cardiff City, Fulham versus Brighton and Hove Albion, Huddersfield Town versus Everton, Wolves versus West Ham United, Manchester United, they host Burnley at Old Trafford, and then Manchester City's title credentials will be put to the test by Rafael Benitez, Newcastle United at St. James's Park.
The league that makes football oh so beautiful, where artistry and strokes of genius are the order of any day, where the game is played with a smile and the little master creates his magic.
It's Lionel Messi!
All the news from the Spanish La Liga on ZiFM Sport.
The goal the world wants it!
Barcelona midfielder Ivan Rakitic said he wants to stay at the club despite the persistent rumours linking him with a move away from the La Liga leaders. Diario Sport reported that Chelsea, as well as Arsenal and Manchester United, are interested in signing him from Barca at the end of the season. Rakitic is out of contract in 2021, and the club have no immediate plans to extend his terms, but the Croatian remains hopeful of penning a new deal. He's become quite easily, I think, one of Barcelona's most important players, you know.
Yes,
always a selection for Ernesto Valverde.
Yeah, he has always been, for the past few years, that player that a lot of people don't notice, but playing a very, very big part in Barcelona. And I think they will give him the contract. Yeah. If you ask me, it's still 2021. They're relaxed. Probably there will come a big fish that will come and entice him. But to entice him,
I think if they're to sell, I don't think it will be this coming season.
Not this coming season. Maybe the last part of his case.
The last part of his contract as well. And if you're looking for action in Spain tonight, there's a Copa del Rey fixture. It's Valencia versus Getafe. Getafe with a 1-0 lead, and of course Valencia with all the work to do. Let's give you a quick update out of Italy as we wrap up the show. AC Milan and Napoli will lock horns once again when they meet at the San Siro for tonight's Coppa Italia quarter-final. These teams came face-to-face at this ground just 3 days ago, playing out a goalless draw in Sunday's Serie A clash. So they renew the rivalry, and of course it'll be interesting test for AC Milan as to the progress they are making under Gennaro Gattuso. If you're wondering how things are standing in Germany, we can tell you that Borussia Dortmund maintained their 6-point lead over Bayern Munich. They have 48 points, Bayern Munich on 42. In third place is Borussia Mönchengladbach. They have 39 points, and Red Bull Leipzig is in fourth place on 34 points. And it's good to see a team such as Mönchengladbach making a fight for it in the Champions League places, and of course being talked up by none other than legends like Lothar Matthäus. Well, this show, together with legend Alois Gaza Bunjira, is over, but you can catch us tomorrow 6:05 as we do it again. Good evening.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.